Hey there to my 50 subscribers, my future subscribers, and all the people that secretly watch me without subscribing. And anybody that's subscribed since I actually filmed this video. I am recording this at the last day of April because May is going to be really busy, and I want to get a head start on some videos and make sure that they're ready for you guys. Today we're working on part 3 of Enigmas of Auslage. I don't know why I always forget to have the book handy, but this book right here. And I will be reading the third part of the book, and there is one section I'm a little concerned about because it's a drunk person talking, and I'll do my best, but I don't talk drunk, I don't get drunk, so I've only actually, no matter how much I've drank over the years, I've only ever been drunk once. So I'm not going to be acting drunk, just so you know. I'll just be reading the words that I wrote, and I'll do my best. So anyway, is there anything else I need to say before I start? I don't think so. Anyway, stick around, and if you haven't, or I'm sure if you're watching part 3, you've watched the first 2 parts. But if not, listen to the music video at the end, and it's a lyric video. There's no graphics to it yet. Maybe someday. Anyway, so part 3 is called The Power of Faith. It's been a few weeks since school got out. I've been handling my abilities so far. I found a lot of things that I've misplaced over the years, and the colors I see don't usually bother me anymore. I don't like when people are angry, though, because the dark reds and black create some anxiety within me. So sometimes I just walk away. This morning has been mostly uneventful. I have noticed that my crystal has been lightly vibrating. I also keep thinking I hear a voice saying Jennifer. I'm not sure what it means, so maybe I'll call and see what she's up to. I walk out into the hall to use the phone. My parents put in phones with cords because the cordless ones were not getting hung up. Jennifer, comes the whisper again. I know, I got it, I mumble to myself. Jennifer answers the phone fairly quick. Hello, who's there? Her voice sounds shaky. This is Kassandra, are you okay? I keep hearing someone say my name. Me too, and my crystal is acting strange. Maybe there is something that we have to do. I'll be right over. Just hang in there. It shouldn't take me more than 10 minutes to get to your house. I head out the door and walk on over to 2nd Street. I turn left and admire all of the flowers and trees at Dr. Ella Nelson's house. Her house is also the clinic. She lives there with Dr. Samuel Manning. Him and his wife raised her from the time she was 5 years old, because someone that was passing through town abandoned her. She doesn't remember her birth parents, but Samuel taught her everything he knew so she could take care of people after he's gone. Samuel's wife died from a stroke several years ago, but she taught Ella many things about love and nature. I can see Ella and Samuel sitting at their dining room table. They both wave to me through a large window, so I wave back. The next road is Eden Road. Jennifer lives on the corner. I cross the street diagonally and knock on Jennifer's door. As I stand there, the crystal starts humming. She opens the door frantically. Jennifer looks really freaked out. Let's get you out of the house for a while. You want to go for a walk? Yeah, I'll grab my shoes. Jennifer disappears behind the door for just a minute, then comes outside quickly. I can tell that she is stressed by how quickly she is moving. She has on a gray shirt that she only wears while working in her mom's garden. I've never seen her come out her front door with it on. Do you want to go back in and change your shirt? She looks down to see what she is wearing, then in a hurried tone she replies, No, let's just go. We walk kind of quickly east down Eden Road. It takes Jennifer a couple of minutes before she slows down to a normal pace. So where are we going? I have the strong feeling that we need to find something that is missing near the north footpath. So we're walking through the woods? She appears to be puzzled and pleased at the same time. Anywhere is great as long as it's away from my house. As we approach First Street, a line of vehicles go by. They must be doing some road construction south of town. We wait patiently, then cross the street to head down the footpath. What is that sound? Jennifer stares at me. You can hear it? Yeah, it's like a small motor running. If you can hear it, then it must be time. I pull the crystal out of my pocket and it is glowing brightly. When Jennifer reaches out to touch it, the glowing and humming get much more intense. She backs away. Why did it just do that? And what do you mean it must be time? I'm not sure why it did that. Maybe because I'm not supposed to let anybody touch it. But I think there is one out here for you. I can't explain it, but I feel like we have to find it. Let's go. We walk down the curvy path, looking and listening for a sign. The path is covered in last year's maple leaves, crunching beneath our feet. Jennifer finds a small rock and starts kicking it down the path. Jennifer, came a whisper from off the path. We were both startled. Jennifer froze. She stares off into the direction that we heard the voice come from. Did you hear it too? My name? Yes, I did. It must be your crystal. That doesn't make any sense. Crystals don't talk. She continued staring towards the voice, moving nothing but her mouth. Part of me wants to run, but at the same time I really want to go towards that voice. It may not be the actual crystal talking, but a spirit calling us to the crystal. You are really freaking me out. Now you are trying to tell me that the spirits are calling my name. How am I supposed to deal with something like that? I left my house to get away from that voice. I know it sounds strange, but mine hasn't hurt me at all. I think it will be fine to go and check it out. I guess as long as we stick together, we should be fine. I really am curious to see it. Good, let's go then. I think that's why I was drawn to come here. We step off of the path and walk across the thick carpet of old leaves, twigs, and pine needles. Even though the sound of crunching leaves and snapping twigs, we can hear another humming sound. It is nearby. We look in the direction of the sound and can see a glow coming from under some leaves. As we get closer, the humming gets louder and the glow gets brighter. Jennifer, pick it up. It's yours. She bends down, moves the debris out of the way, and picks up the crystal. Instantly, the one in my pocket and Jennifer stops glowing and humming. Suddenly, I know what her ability is. You are a healer. What are you talking about? You just have to have faith and believe. Your ability is to heal. Like a doctor? Not exactly. More like with faith. You know how those faith healers on TV do things? Only maybe you don't have to be as dramatic. I think they act extreme for the attention. I don't understand. I don't know anything about healing. It's kind of like how I've known where all the missing things were. I just know that you can heal things. How am I supposed to test that? I don't know, but please keep the crystal to yourself. We are not supposed to let other people touch the crystals. They're supposed to be a secret between the people that have them. You showed yours to me because I was freaked out and had nobody to talk to. I wasn't supposed to. The second time was because I knew you were next. Next? Are there more? Do other people in town have them? I don't think anybody else has them yet. I believe I was first. I found it on the field trip. Then I found a strange book that said there would be others, and I would know who they are. Then the book disappeared. You lost it? No, it just disappeared. It was sitting in front of me, then it wasn't. This is just too strange. We walk back to the path without really talking. Every once in a while I look over and see Jennifer smiling and looking at her crystal with a look of wonder. You should put it in your pocket before we run into somebody. Just as we reached the path, we could see that Tasha was jogging towards us. So Jennifer hurried and slipped the crystal into her pocket. When Tasha reached us, she continued jogging in place. She took her headphones off so she could talk to us. What are you guys doing out there, off the path? She wasn't generally a nosy person. She sounded more worried than anything. Oh, we were just looking around. Nature is even prettier out there in the trees. Seems more natural without the path. I see. Well, don't get lost out there. I don't think we could if we tried, but thank you for caring. We all smile, then Tasha puts her headphones back on and waves as she jogs away. That was close. We have to be careful with the crystals. I don't know what would happen if we broke the rules. We are almost back to the road when Jennifer stops walking. I can hear her crystal humming, but not mine. She pulls it out, looks at it glowing, then puts it back. Something needs me. I can feel it, I think. She looks to her right curiously. She steps off of the path, walks a short distance, and squats down. I walk up to her to see what she is looking at. She has her hands face down and close to the ground. Looking all around us, it appears as though some animal had been fighting. There are drag marks everywhere. I look closer and notice Jennifer is hovering over a tiny animal. Her hands are centered over its back legs and she has her eyes closed. Suddenly, the animal jumps up and starts licking her hands. It's a baby fox. She opens her eyes and has the biggest smile I've ever seen on her. It had a broken and torn up leg. I fixed it. Seriously? Yeah, the baby fox jumps in her arms and licks her face. It wants to thank you. Its mom must be missing. I could sense what had happened. Her mom was killed protecting her from a hawk. I feel that the mom was protecting others too. I think they got scared and ran away. Let's take her home. My mom will know what to do. Jennifer's parents own the apothecary. It is kind of like a pharmacy, but they sell a lot of herbs as well as regular medications. And since there are no pet stores or co-ops here in town, they also carry a small inventory of pet supplies. Jennifer's dad, Gage, was fascinated with healing because of his mom being a doctor. He didn't want to be a doctor, but wanted to heal people naturally. When he married her mom, Amanda, it was a perfect fit. She loved everything about nature, animals, and living natural. People say that she was a lot like her mom, Molly, though they even commented that Molly's ghost must have raised her. Obviously, it didn't. I think between pictures and stories, she chose to look and act like her mom. Just the power of suggestion. She lived like a hippie all through her teenage years. When she had her own kids, she decided to make some changes and become more structured. But she always maintained the desire to live as naturally as possible. Even her clothes have a down-to-earth look to them. She has long reddish-brown hair that is naturally wavy, and she has never done anything to alter it. The only exception I've ever seen her make is to put it in a ponytail. And she only does that when she's working in her garden on a hot day. We go back to Jennifer's house. Her parents are both home, enjoying their Sunday off. Gage is mowing the front lawn. He usually wears a suit without a tie when he is in public. He likes to look professional, but thinks ties are too restricting. On days when he relaxes or works in his yard, he wears more simple clothes. Today, for instance, he has on a pair of cut-off denim shorts and a funny black t-shirt. The t-shirt says, "You're just jealous because the voices in my head only talk to me." I can see that the grass has partially stained his feet green through the space in his leather sandals. The combination of the clothes, his boyish face, and baby blue eyes makes him look almost like a teenager. I wave to him and he waves back. We walk around to the back of the house where Amanda is working in her garden. When she sees us, she stands up and brushes the dirt off of her loose tan shorts. "Mom, we found a baby fox and we want to know if we can keep her." Amanda doesn't seem surprised at all. She knows her daughter shares the same love of animals as she does. "Sweetie, you need to take her back to where you found her so her mom doesn't worry." I decided to speak up before Jennifer has a chance to say the wrong thing. Her mom was taken away by a hawk. "You saw it happen?" Amanda was looking at me in disbelief. I hated to lie, but I couldn't tell her about the crystals and our abilities. This was one of those times when a whole truth isn't necessary, so I decided to avoid the actual question. Her mom was trying to protect her, and the hawk killed the mom and took her away. Jennifer gave me a funny look. When Amanda turns to look at her, I shrugged my shoulders. Okay, girls, you can keep her for now, but you'll have to do some research on how to take care of her. We quickly go into the house and walk straight to Jennifer's room to get onto her computer. First, we start with a search to find out what type of fox she is. Based on the peppery color of her fur with the orange-red color on the back of her neck and ears and her white chest, we determined that she is a gray fox. We couldn't resist looking up some adult photos so we would know what she'll look like when she grows up. They grow up to be beautiful. Jennifer was really excited. We go back into the search engine to find out how to take care of her. Apparently we need to start with a bath to look for ticks, and we need to give her Pedialyte to make sure she is hydrated. My brothers like baby shampoo, so we could give her a bath with that. Then we can go to my parents' store and get some Pedialyte. I can just write a note and pay for it tomorrow. I'm feeling kind of whimsical inside. That's great. Let's read some more before we get started. We can find out what else we need. We must have spent a couple of hours reading about food, litter boxes, toys, cages, do's and don'ts. It was a little overwhelming, but we were excited, so we took notes. What are we going to name her? How about Foxy? Jennifer smiled at me. That's perfect. And she looked down at her. Hey, Foxy lady, let's go give you a bath. Jennifer heads to the kitchen with Foxy, while I go and get some shampoo and a towel. We get the water to a temperature that we like and put her paws in first to see if she likes it. She flinches for a second, then she puts her foot back in and spreads her toes out really wide. So we fill the sink with water. We wash her really good, making sure to get all of the blood off of her fur. We check and find no signs of ticks or any other types of bugs. Then we leave to go to the apothecary. Jennifer decides that she wants to take a shortcut. The town is so small, I don't think it matters a whole bunch, but I go along with it anyway. We walk half a block down Eden Road. It is very beautiful. There are some small plum trees at Blake and Anthony's house. They have leaves on them that are the color of black cherry ice cream. Jennifer's grandpa Blake owns the Timber Saloon, and Denny's great-uncle Anthony works as a bartender there. They only work on nights and weekends usually. When we turn to look across the street, Blake is at the back door of the saloon. Hey, Grandpa! Jennifer and I both wave. Jennifer walks over to the tree, reaches up and picks 2 of the tiny plums. She sticks them in her mouth as we cross the street. We approach the back of the little strip mall and Jennifer gives Blake a hug before he heads back inside. Jennifer spits the pits into the street. Then we walk down 2 more doors and enter the apothecary through its back door. Once inside, we go through the little swinging door that separates the store from the pharmacist's counter. We walk up and down the aisles, gathering up some of the things that we are going to need. Then Jennifer writes a note to show the amount that we owe the store, since we can't open the cash register to pay. I pour some unflavored Pedialyte into a tiny bottle and hold it for Foxy. Jennifer holds her in an upright position, just like the research said. She hadn't drank much before her belly felt kind of tight. I grab a washcloth that we picked out, go to the restroom at the back of the store, and put some warm water on it. I hand a harness and leash to Jennifer. She puts them on Foxy while I gather up the rest of the stuff, and we head out the front door. I rub Foxy's belly with the warm washcloth to mimic what her mom might do. Then Jennifer sets her down on a small patch of grass. We wait for her to do what she has to do while we start talking about what we need to do. We hear some loud arguing and turn in the direction of it. Natasha and Bernie are in front of the saloon. They are bickering and they keep punching each other's arms. Then they laugh and bicker some more. While we are watching them, Natasha staggers a bit, trips, and falls. You pushed me. Bernie is reaching down, trying to help her up while she kicks him and hits at him. Then they turn to look at us. Hey, kids, what you got there? Some strange dog? Natasha is really difficult to understand when she isn't drunk, but even worse when she is. Although it isn't quite as bad as it was the other day. Bernie waves in a flapping motion. Jennifer, I have something for you. Technically, he is Jennifer's other grandpa, although the family doesn't claim him. She usually avoids him because he can be really unpredictable. Ella was 18 and Bernie was 29 when they met. So the story goes. He was a mysterious stranger traveling through town regularly. Ella was feeling rebellious and Bernie seemed like the perfect rebel to her. He was always riding his Harley around town with no helmet. She was in love with the idea of doing something that she shouldn't. After Ella got pregnant with Gage, Bernie kept getting in trouble for drunk driving. Then, when he totaled the motorcycle, his license was taken away. Or at least that is how Ella tells the story. Then Ella decided that she wanted a better life for her and her baby, so she moved back home to Samuel's. She gave Bernie the little house that she had been living in, so he could be around for the baby when it came. I'm in a hurry, Bernie, but I bought you some candy. Sorry. Don't you like candy anymore? He holds out a small bag of taffy. It is Jennifer's favorite, but there is no telling how old it is. Sometimes he buys stuff and carries it around for days or even weeks. Plus he smells bad. He doesn't like to shower because it takes away from his drinking time. He only showers and minimizes his drinking when someone's lawn needs to be mowed. Thank you, Bernie, but I don't really want any candy right now. We have some important business that we have to take care of. We go back to talking about our plan as Jennifer picks up Foxy. Denny has a dog. Maybe he still has a cage that we can borrow. Denny lives in the apartments across the parking lot from me. It's no secret that he has a crush on me, so I'm sure he would be happy to help us. Sounds good to me. Jennifer immediately starts crossing the street over to the apartments. I have to walk faster to catch up with her. Denny's youngest sister, Chrissy, answers the door. She is only 4 years old, but knows how adorable she is. Is Denny here? She gives me a big grin, then runs to get him. While we are waiting, his elk-hound comes running to the door. He instantly spots Foxy and starts wagging his tail so hard, his entire back half is wagging. He jumps up on Jennifer and sniffs Foxy obsessively. Jennifer sets her back down. Then Denny comes out and shuts the door. He is a good-looking kid, and honestly, I have a crush on him too. He has shoulder-length, dark brown hair, brown eyes, a slightly dark complexion, and really noticeable dimples. All of the dark features make him seem warm and friendly without even getting to know him first. What's up, guys? We have an orphan fox, and we would like to know if you have a cage that we could temporarily borrow for her. He looks down at Foxy, bends over, and picks her up. She's really cute. Sure, you can borrow my cage. Can I help with anything else? He sets her back down. I know you like drawing. Maybe you can help us design a permanent enclosure for her. My parents own the empty property next to our house, so we have plenty of room. Jennifer's request surprises me because I know she loves to draw also. I'll go get the cage and my sketching supplies. We are so excited that we quickly start walking to the empty lot next to Jennifer's house. We cross the street before we walk the 2.5 blocks down Main Street. As we near First Street, Emmett Smith comes around the corner. He is the local farmer that lives on the other side of town. He is driving his old Dodge truck. It looks rough on the outside, but runs really smooth. What do you kids have there? We found an orphan fox, so Denny is going to design an enclosure for her. Well, that's pretty nice of you kids. After you've come up with a plan, give me a call to let me know if you need any help. Thanks. Jennifer was smiling again. It is only 1 block down first, then across the street, and we are there. Denny sets the cage down under a tree on the empty lot. Then we head next door so we can sit at Jennifer's kitchen table. Denny works on his sketch while we explain what the research had said. She has to have a tower to climb, so she can see all around. Yes, but it should have something to keep her from falling out of it. Denny thought for a moment. What about some wire fencing on the front and back? She could see out, but she would be safe. Yeah, and she needs a private place to sleep, and a sheltered place to keep her food dishes. Don't forget a litter box. The websites all suggested a litter box. She needs to be litter box trained in case we decide to take her in the house sometime. And some bushes to hide in. Yes, there are some bushes out there. Maybe we can sculpt them. Don't forget a rock for her to lie in the sun. And some toys. Every baby needs toys. I watched Denny as he drew a ball and a stuffed toy on the page. The websites said they need lots of space to run, but I think we are making it crowded. Denny held up his index finger and smiled. I have an idea. He did a little more sketching, then turned it around for our approval. The inner fence is for her living space, and the outer fence is to give her a place to run. That is really cute. I immediately felt embarrassed and could feel my face get hot, but I could tell Denny was embarrassed too. It's perfect. Thanks. Jennifer was beaming. Shall we call Emmett? Sure, I'll call him. Maybe you two can go outside and figure out exactly where we want the enclosure on the lot. Denny and I get up and head out the door. We had to put Foxy into Denny's cage for quite a while until we were done working, but it was well worth it. We picked a spot that was surrounded by trees so she could have shade anytime she wanted it. By the end of the day, it seemed that at least half of the town had donated supplies and their time. Emmett and Phoebe Smith brought some extra fencing material from their farm. They got a group of people to help them build a double fence. Evan O'Keefe brought some wood from his workshop. He worked with several people to build Foxy a 3-tiered tower, a food shelter, a litter shelter, and another shelter for her bed. Ella came over and helped Amanda prune a ring of bushes so Foxy could hide inside of them easier. Chuck and his brother-in-law, Jimmy Slater, brought a huge rock from the dump for Foxy to lie on. Then, when the day was almost over, my great-grandma Chelsea brought a squeaky toy that she had made to look like a fox. Even Chrissy put her favorite ball in Foxy's enclosure so the enclosure would look just like Denny's sketch. Everybody stood and admired all of the hard work. It's amazing. Thank you all so much. Jennifer was looking very emotional. We couldn't have done such a wonderful job without everybody's help. Even I was struggling to maintain my composure between the emotions and exhaustion. Jennifer walks over to the cage that we borrowed from Denny and gets Foxy out. She carries Foxy to the center of the enclosure. Everybody come in and close the gate. She waits a couple of minutes and sets Foxy down. At first, Foxy seems hesitant and unsure. She is sniffing things while trying to keep an eye on everybody. Then suddenly she starts running around checking everything out, then stopping in the top of the tower to take a nap. The days seemed to go by quickly. Grace helped Jennifer and me train Foxy. She mostly wanted to play, but we thought we should teach her some manners as well. Other people in town would come by to bring treats, pet her, or just watch her play. People were even bringing their dogs by so they could play with her. Then one day we noticed 3 other little foxes that appeared to be about the same age as Foxy. We got down on our tummies on the ground for close to an hour. We held treats in our hands until they got brave enough to come eat from us. Finally, I walked to the gate of the cage and made noises to get their attention. They came running, so I let them in with Foxy. They all seemed really happy to be together. They must be the other siblings that the mom was protecting. The 4th of July has finally arrived. I'm not worried about the foxes getting spooked, because fireworks are not allowed around here. We only have about 80 people in this town, so we usually gather at the church for a huge barbecue and party. This year, because of the foxes, everybody has decided to gather around their enclosure so they can be included in the fun too. Everybody that has dogs brought them as well. Since the dogs in town are used to the foxes, we let them all into the enclosure. Even for such a small town, our celebration seems pretty big. There are several barbecue grills going with hot dogs, hamburgers, steaks, chicken, foil-wrapped potatoes and corn, and a variety of kebabs and even some fruit. People have brought their own folding tables and chairs that are scattered around the property. A small group is playing with a frisbee while some of the younger kids are playing in a wading pool. People walk around while visiting with each other. Most of the people are surrounded by a golden color with some vermilion mixed in. Yes, it's a happy day for everybody. I walk around and enjoy the feeling of being around so many happy people. I stop at one of the tables and get myself a glass of cranberry juice. I've always been drawn to the unique taste of sweet and bitter mixed. I slowly sip on my glass of juice as I watch the foxes from a distance. Although Foxy is a little smaller than her sister, Pepper, it's hard to tell which one is which from this distance. The more muscular one of the brothers, Grace named Smoke. The boy that is taller and skinnier, Jennifer named Flash, after her favorite comic book character. He is the quickest one, and none of the dogs can catch him either. I get closer to the enclosure so I can stand and watch them play for quite a while, pleased with how everything is turning out. Suddenly, Mrs. Destiny's little boy, Nick, runs into me. My cranberry juice spills all over my pants. I stand there, speechless for a moment. I'm sorry. Nick obviously feels bad about running into me and making a mess. I squat down to talk to him. It's okay, it was just an accident. I can go home and change. Then everything will be perfect again. Careful not to get any of the cranberry juice on him, I give him a hug. I go and find Jennifer to let her know that I have to go home and change. Just a minute and I'll go with you. She was retying a ribbon in Chrissy's hair. Chrissy loves ribbons on everything. Not only does she usually have one in her hair, but she tied all kinds of ribbons to her tricycle. Even on her birthday, rather than a famous cartoon character, she just wanted lots of ribbons everywhere. Jennifer and I talk as we walk. Our lives have been so consumed by the foxes that we haven't talked about anything else in quite some time. Do you really believe that I can heal with a touch? Maybe Foxy was a one-time thing. I believe you can heal with a touch if you believe that you can. You just have to have faith. Be glad that you aren't running into injured animals every day. I don't know what to believe. Believe in yourself. We had to be chosen for a reason. What about you? Are you still seeing colors around people and finding missing things? The colors are always around, but I haven't needed to find anything in a while. Let's test it out. I didn't see Denny or Drake at the party. Are they missing? Where are they? They're at Drake's apartment. I feel like they are about to do something extremely stupid. Drake is always doing really stupid things and sucking Denny into it. No, I mean like dangerous stupid. I hope I'm wrong. I hope so too. We wouldn't want anything to happen to your Denny. I can tell that she is teasing me, but it still caught me off guard. My Denny? I suspected that you liked him as much as he liked you, but when he was designing the enclosure, you kept watching him instead of watching his drawing. Why didn't you tell me that you liked him? And look, you are turning red just thinking about him. I'm turning red because you are making me uncomfortable. Are you going to tell me that you don't like him? Of course not. We've been friends for a long time. Of course I like him. No, I mean really like him. Come on, don't we have more important things we need to catch up on? Jennifer stopped walking and grabbed my arm. I spun around as she looked at me for a moment and smiled. No. Then she started walking again. Shh, I don't want him to hear us. We had finally made it to the apartment complex and I was running out of excuses to make her stop. Fine. We glance over at Drake's apartment, then at Denny's, but don't see either of them outside. They are kind of next door to each other, but with a small playground in between them. We go into my apartment and to my room. I pull off the stained pants and look at my legs. It looks like I sat in an overly hot bathtub, or at least parts of my legs did. Or maybe more accurately, like I had put random shaped stickers all over my legs and sat in the sun a little too long. They weren't completely covered, but in a strange splashing design. I put on some clean pants, then tossed the others into the bathtub. I'll have to search online later to figure out how to get the stain out. As we are about to go outside, we hear an explosion. We run out of my apartment and see Denny freaking out in front of Drake's apartment. He's hysterical and yelling. There is someone on the ground not moving. We run over to them and see that it's Drake on the ground. Or at least it appears to be. His face is messed up really bad. It is horribly burned and covered in blisters. I start to feel sick as I'm looking at him. I can hear Jennifer's crystal humming, but I can't stop staring. I told him that it was a bad idea, but he refused to listen to me. I tried to stop him. What happened? Jennifer can't take her eyes off of Drake's face either. He dumped a bunch of gunpowder into a container and stuck a fuse in it. When he bent down to light the fuse, he didn't move away fast enough and it went off. Is he dead? It took me a bit to pull myself together and focus past the ill feeling. Jennifer, you have to help him. What if I can't, Cass? You have to try. Jennifer got down on the ground and put her hands over Drake's face. What is she doing? Denny couldn't calm down. It's okay, she's helping him. Jennifer, you can do it. Believe and have faith in yourself. Drake began making moaning sounds. Then, as Jennifer moved her hands away and stood up, I could see that the injury was completely healed. Denny was shocked. Drake opened his eyes. What happened? Why does my head hurt so bad? Because you're an idiot. Jennifer was right, but I'm sure her answer wasn't what he was looking for. You fell and hit your head, but you'll be fine. I was confident of that. But Denny started to speak. I put my finger to my lips, shushing him, and smiled. He looked confused, but he seemed to be accepting of my request. He was still shaking from the stress. I leaned closer to Denny so I could whisper, "It's okay, he's fine." I shrugged and smiled, trying to give him some sort of comfort. If you didn't already have a headache, I would punch you for being stupid. Although Jennifer is generally sweet and everybody loves her, she can be temperamental at times. Then I spoke up louder. We should all get to the party before people start to question where we are at. I was probably the only one willing to make a rational decision. Denny was quieter this time, but I half whispered this time, "Really, he's fine." I then put my finger to my lips again. I ran and locked my apartment door. As we walked to the party, we didn't say much. We just walked quietly, happy that we were all okay. Happy because it could have been so much worse. And I was happy that Jennifer was able to heal him because it had been much worse. Throughout the weekend, Jennifer kept nagging at me to go over to Drake's and ask how he was doing. I insisted that he was fine. If he wasn't, I'm sure we would have heard about it. And besides, I am shy and don't really want to get into any conversations with him alone. Then she wanted me to go ask Denny. I didn't want to go over there either and ask him anything. I always get nervous around him if our other friends were not with us. I was also not prepared to make excuses for how Jennifer had healed Drake. No matter what I thought to say, it would have been a lie. If I told the truth, he wouldn't believe me. When Jennifer showed up Monday morning, I was only surprised because she always insists that she's not a morning person. Luckily, I'm an early riser. Come on, Cass, I'll come with you. Are you forgetting that Denny is probably freaked out and we can't tell him what happened? What are we supposed to say? Ask him how Drake is doing? Then deny there's a reason to ask? Can't you make it sound casual? I doubt it. I'm sure he'll wonder why I'm at his door, no matter how casual I seem. Fine, then. Maybe we should go to Drake's house and just ask him how he feels. And you think that would be less suspicious? Now Jennifer was really not making any rational sense. Cass? Yes? What if I told you that Drake is missing? Then what would you tell me? She knew that saying anything was missing, I would sense where it was. He wasn't really missing, and I knew that, rationally anyway. But the question made something inside of me take over. He is at Wiles Styles getting his hair done. Wow, that really does work. She was beaming with joy. Well, I think I need to go get something different done to my hair today. Since when do you do anything to your hair? It's beautiful just the way it is. You're going to make your parents really mad. Since now, I've never done anything fun with it. Don't you think it's about time? Besides, nothing you do to your hair is permanent. Even a perm isn't really permanent. I don't know why they call it that. It grows out and you cut it off. I guess, if it will make you feel better and stop nagging at me. I shook my head at her, feeling a strong desire to be sarcastic. Maybe you should just go in there and tell him to make you look like Drake. No, but I'll think of something. Come on. We headed out the door and across the street to the mall. If you are so worried about him and concerned with what he is doing, why don't you ask him out? He's not my type. What is your type? You've never gone out with anybody more than once. I don't know exactly, but not him. I think he would be too clingy. I'm like a bunny. Too little or too much attention and I'll die. She ended the sentence in such an exaggerated and drawn-out way I had to laugh. When we walk into the salon, Tasha is hanging out behind the cash register and doing a Sudoku puzzle. Her mom, Mia, owns the place. Mia is in the process of trimming up Drake's hair. Mia glances at us as we walk in. She's a small and beautiful dark-skinned woman, and that looks about as perfect as a porcelain doll. Her hair is naturally dark brown, but she has blonde streaks in about half of it. It is really short and wavy. It's obvious that she likes to have a lot of color around her. The smocks that everybody wears are swirled with many colors, and it seems that everything in the room is a different color. You would think that having that much color would look bad, but it's done in a very classy way. She has always liked being different than everybody, while still making people admire her. I look at Drake. I don't know why he bothers coming in here. He likes his hair cut in a variety of lengths, without anything symmetrical to it. He could cut it himself. Suddenly I realized that I had said that out loud. Tasha giggled at me. He is a very vain boy. We have to keep it bleached and abstract. Believe it or not, when he doesn't have it spiked with gel, there's a specific design to it. Luckily, my mom has patience. He actually had a good reason to come in this time. Somehow the edges of his hair got burned. He claims that he doesn't know what happened. He probably got into his dad's liquor cabinet and did something stupid. I see. Jennifer was looking at the photos around the room while I talked to Tasha. So what can I help you girls with today? Jennifer heard her and snapped to attention. Oh, I want a little color in my hair. So, do you want some highlights or change the whole thing? Actually, I was thinking about some streaks of red and purple on the underside. Maybe some blue too, or maybe do the whole thing in varying shades of purple and lavender. Yeah, that sounds pretty. Well, that is definitely different. Are you wanting to do it right now? My grandma Hattie is available. I haven't learned how to do coloring yet. Sure, sign me up. Hey, Cass, want to get something done? I'll pay for it. Nope, I'm good. I sat down in one of the chairs by the entrance next to Drake's brother, Simon. Jennifer started heading towards the back where they wash people's hair. She stopped at the first styling chair where Drake was getting his trim. Hey, Drake, how are you? Fine. Not sure how my hair got damaged, though. Didn't you guys say that I just fell? Yep. Jennifer walked away and sat in the shampoo chair. Hattie immediately turned on the water, making it easy for Jennifer to ignore Drake's questions. Hattie is Mia's mom and actually comes down here just for something to do. She's a sophisticated woman with that same porcelain doll look to her. I've heard that she is very supportive of Mia and has always tried to make sure that nothing goes wrong. If it does, it's said that she fixes it immediately. Drake turned and looked at me. I started to feel a flutter in my stomach, and the ill feeling was coming back as I remembered what his face had looked like. "Hey, Cass." "Yes, Drake?" I thought I was going to pass out as I started getting dizzy and nauseated. "What really happened?" For the first time ever, he seemed like he was really concerned rather than pushy. "I didn't see. We went outside and you were laying on the ground. Maybe you did something to yourself earlier that you just don't remember. Sometimes hitting your head makes you forget things." "Maybe," he muttered. Simon chuckled. For 8 years old, he is really intelligent. He could probably do all of Drake's schoolwork and get straight A's on it. He is also a very creative kid. If he was just a little bit older, I'm sure him and my brother would be really good friends. He isn't like Drake in any way. He keeps his hair shaved at about 1/8 of an inch. He is always smiling and seems happy. And I don't think I've ever heard of him getting in trouble for anything. Don't get me wrong, he's not stuck up. I think he has seen his brother get into enough trouble to cure any natural curiosity a boy might have. Simon was staring at me. "You just turned so pale, you almost look like the color of ashes. Are you okay?" "Yeah, maybe I'm overly tired and need some rest." I couldn't tell him the truth, even if I'm sure that he could tell that something was wrong. I decided to change the subject. "You don't look like you need a haircut. What made you come here with Drake?" "My grandpa. Drake is grounded, so I'm supposed to keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't go anywhere else." "How could you stop him if he did go somewhere else?" "With a phone call. I'm not interested in fighting with him. I could just call my grandpa and he would be here fairly quick." "I see. Well, good luck. Hope you aren't stuck on babysitting duty too long." This time I giggled. The thought of Drake being babysat is amusing, but by someone that is about half his age, as well as being his little brother, is just too funny. So that's the end of part 3, and I will try to get the rest of them done before I take off in a couple weeks. That way they can be posted when they're supposed to. And there was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was, so I guess I'll save it for another video. And hope you enjoyed it. Please stick around, listen to the song, and I put a lot of work into it, and anyway, please like, subscribe, comment, and share the video. Come back in a month, the 12th of every month up through October, if you want to listen to the rest of the story. So thank you for watching. Bye.
The small town of Auslage, some crystals were found, bestowing upon against powers around. Together they journey through Auslage land, their powers a blessing, their teamwork at hand. Kassandra, her gift to find what's misplaced. Jennifer heals with her faith embraced. Luke with his mind, moving things with ease. They all work together, creating some peace. A mysterious fight, a crazy notion, a book of the future set into motion. Powers are granted to the ones chosen, with crystal that shine as moonlit ocean. Oh. stronger. A small squad of heroes, nothing can conquer. Enigmas of Auslage, the town of wonder, with powers granted, the spell they're under. Kassandra, Jennifer, Blue, Grace, and Danny, Destiny's dream, leading them steady. The small town of Auslage, the crystal so clear, a token of power, treasures once feared. Oh, Kassandra and her friends, with skills out of sight, the small town of Auslage, a mighty delight. Oh, Kassandra and her friends, with skills out of sight, the small